chat a bit about this piece. It almost feels like it doesn't quite deserve the title of art because it's so fucking weird. But despite its silly appearance, it actually was quite good for me. It made me realize some things. These sort of unspoken rules I've put up that subconsciously have been, I think, suppressing my creativity, if that makes sense. I think it does. I'm not sure. Let me know if it doesn't. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to in the dumbest way possible is I have a tendency of being super nice and open and chill with other artists when they, for example, think that their art isn't good enough or it doesn't live up to this or that standard or whatever it might be. I tend to be very like, you know, you're creating, that's what's important, and then I turn to myself and I'm just like, now you little bitch. And given that I've had so much time for myself these past few months, both while school was still going and now that I'm on summer break, I've had a lot of time to just think about how I create art and how I can improve my process and my creation thing. I'm a jiggy. And for me, a big thing has been my definition of what art is, which I realize differs from what I apply to other people versus what I apply to myself. Like I was explaining earlier, I tend to tell other people to essentially that anything you create is art. If you sit down and you think, I'm gonna make art, then fuck it, it's art. It's such a broad term that is defined differently by everyone that it's very difficult to tell someone something isn't art. Almost anything can be perceived as art. So yeah, for that reason, I think it's just nearly impossible to go around telling other people what to do and how to do art right, because there is no right, which is kind of obvious, but fuck off. And I think for myself, I have these standards of it has to be deep and emotional and has to have some sort of symbolic meaning or whatever the fuck. And I find it's really held me back from my true potential of this beautiful creation. No, but I think it's held me back, definitely. Most of all because this piece came about from just a very random thought I had, which is kind of dark, starting off. I love the TV show The Haunting of Hill House. I think it's very well created, well filmed, it's very well written. All of it, it's a masterpiece in the horror genre, if you ask me. And so at this one point, there's this super sad scene where a veteran talks about what happens to people, their eyes if they're like, you know, put through very high temperatures. And his point is kind of like eyes melt, which is super gruesome and sad. And he talks about being tormented by this. And my dumbest is like, egg eyes. EGGMAN. And then it went from there. And I think what allowed this piece to happen was that when I thought of I took his super sad story and I made it into something very literal and very unserious, which is just egg eyes. And I kind of just let my brain run with it and sort of just followed this idea wherever it went. And when I had impulses and thoughts, for example, doing a little text bubble with Fry Me Daddy, which is the dumbest thing I've ever done on an art piece, I didn't stop myself, which is what I usually would have done. I would have been like, no, that's dumb, stop. But the truth is that I am dumb, and I shouldn't have to pretend I'm not. And so I kind of just went with it, and any thought I had, any impulse or idea, I just went ahead and did. And it kind of turned into a meme on my Instagram especially. I posted a lot of just pictures of it at random stages, and I just wrote egg for a solid week or two. Just seeing the word egg would have me burst out laughing. So maybe it went too far, but fuck it. And at the end, thanks to my good friend Ash, I also covered the background in eggs. And I didn't film that because it seemed like a repetitive pain in the ass. But it turned out kind of cool. It looks weirdly aesthetic given the subject, but you know. I think that's kind of what's fun about it, because at first glance it's like, oh, that's cool, and then you look closely and you actually see what it is, and you're like, what the fuck? But yes, I'm obviously not very articulate or well-spoken when I'm being recorded like this, but I hope my thinking comes across sort of well, or that you're just sort of on board with what I'm trying to put out there, which is essentially that you don't have to make crazy deep stuff all the time. It's okay to make dumb shit. I'm currently doing an entire series of cats with faces, and if you don't know what that means, you don't want to know. It's terrifying and beautiful at the same time. But you can check it out on my Instagram or TikTok, which are both linked down below. And unless there's anything else I need to plug, I think I'm done with this voiceover. And I'm gonna leave you with some great music by Andrew Applepie, as per usual. I hope you enjoyed this video, and check me out on my other social medias, because Instagram's algorithm is a bitch. Okay, bye!
You work in a head shop, but you don't think it's rough. You say it's good for your aura. Boy, this is gonna be tough. And you say it's your calling to heal them with love. And I'm sorry, I'm not nice, but I hate esoteric shit. Your mind is a dumb mind, but I need to be kind. This might be circumstantial, but you can keep your trap shut. Your mind's like a bomb now. You're a singer and a writer, and you know you're good, 'cause your mama told you so, and 'cause you care about that shit. But you don't need to tell me, I just wanna be outside. I can read your mind anyway, 'cause it's all the same to